What's up, guys? Welcome back to WWE Pit. Today we're looking at the 5 worst gimmicks in WWE history. First up, we have Mantar. Okay, you know the drill with this one. Half man, half bull, and you know what comes next. Back in 1995, Mike Halleck was a green youngster weighing in at around 400 pounds, and since WWE had some weird ideas when it came to creating heels to spook out its young target market, Halleck was given the gimmick of Mantar, and it was a completely ludicrous gimmick in an era where the biggest monster heel of all time, in terms of size, wore a bodysuit with painted on muscles and hair patches. Well, not exactly Giant Gonzalez in terms of being in cannot unsee territory, Mantar's ring gear was as awful as you can imagine for a man who thinks he's a bull. We're serious as well about that last part. We could get it if you merely guard his opponents a la Rhino, but instead of screaming or roaring after flattening his much smaller jobber victims, he mooed at them. Oh, and if you're wondering, he was a terrible worker, though once again, not as terrible as Giant Gonzalez was. Halleck's size allowed him to come back to the WWE a couple times after Mantar, first as Goldust's unnamed bodyguard, then as a masked member of the Truth Commission. Neither run lasted as long as his run as Mantar, which wasn't even that long to begin with. Next up, Kerwin White. Ah yes, this is truly a gimmick that everyone should be expecting in such a list. A proud Mexican-American, Chavo was asked to deny his Hispanic heritage and transform into the wannabe suburban white guy named Kerwin, just because he'd had enough of being pushed around by the Mexicools. That included using a tasteless, if it's not white, it's not right catchphrase, and mainly feuding against non-Caucasians like Tajri and Shelton Benjamin. Chavo may have left the building, but even a blind man could tell that he and Kerwin were one and the same. Knowing the company's usual mindset, we seriously wouldn't have put it past WWE to keep the Kerwin White gimmick going had it not been for Eddie Guerrero's untimely death in November 2005. Next, Eugene. Perhaps we can't fault Nick Dinsmore for his heart being in the right place when he created the gimmick of Eugene, the special needs kayfabe nephew of Eric Bischoff who wasn't at all smart in the conventional sense, but was a servant in the ring who could easily master the old school wrestling moves he grew up watching. But when WWE greenlit the idea, any hopes of seeing the company present a nuanced depiction of the mentally disabled had gone completely out of the window. Yes, we can get how Dinsmore will still be the first to put the Eugene gimmick over. It was idea after all, and it was not without potential, but it could have done much better and might even have helped Dinsmore enjoy a better push in the WWE. Oh boy, we got a good one. Bastion Booger. Mike Shaw was no stranger to working weird gimmicks when he joined the WWE in '93. As such, it was a bit of a 360-degree turn, though bizarre nonetheless. When WWE debuted him as Freya Ferguson, a mad monk wrestler whose gimmick was deemed too offensive by the Catholic Church in New York, he was then quickly removed on the TV and redebuted a few months later as the deliberately hideous-looking, disgusting Bastion Booger. Judging by his appearance and his burp and fart collage of a ring theme, Bastion Booger was a product of Vince McMahon's juvenile sense of humor, your average 5th grader's caricature of the most disgusting human being alive. His body hair was meant to be unsightly, he was booked to eat like a total slob, and the less said about a singlet, the better. The highlight of Booger's run in the WWE was a heel versus heel feud against Bam Bam Bigelow, where both men fought over the affections of Bam Bam's valet, Luna Vachon. And last, but certainly not least, is Akeem. Originally hired by WWE in 1987 as the burly mohawk-wearing biker The One Man Gang, George Gang was briefly taken off television after his original gimmick started to lose steam. Once he was ready for repackaging, manager Slick conducted an elaborate ceremony in the deepest, darkest paths of Africa, where OMG would be reborn as Akeem, the African Dream. Great, a tribute to the Houston Rockets legend we guessed before he added an H to his name, and another rib on Dusty Rhodes on top of Mike Jones working as Ted DiBiase's manservant Virgil. One Man Gang may have screamed generic biker, but Akeem was both a crude jab at the guy who was head booker for the competition and a way too stereotypical depiction of a white man trying to be black. For what it's worth, Akeem did have some success with the Big Boss Man as the Twin Towers, but towards the end of his run, he was jerking the curtains and ironically feuding with Tony Atlas's own tasteless depiction of African culture, Saba Simba, which was under consideration for this list, mind you. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap it up for this video of WWE Pit. If you enjoyed, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below which one was the worst. I honestly don't know, they were all awful, but I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe and have a great day.